So my name's Laura White, I'm from the One Money team. My job is a financial inclusion officer, so I'm going to be talking about universal credit today and the impact on our tenants and customers. I predominantly work in the community shops where I see universal credit on more or less a daily basis. And the impact it has on our customers. In the outreaches that I work in, I do find that there's 3 different types of people. So there's people that have not claimed universal credit, that have anxieties regarding what the future benefit entitlement is going to be. I've got the second type of people where they're actually in the process of claiming universal credit, so whether they're in the 6-week waiting period. And we've got people that are actually on universal credit and have an active claim. So the first group of people that I deal with are people that have actually not claimed universal credit or are not even in the process of being migrated over. And these have a lot of misconceptions about universal credit, so I feel like I'm dealing with the anxieties on a daily basis. So these anxieties can be people think that they're going to go months and months without any money. If they're on long-term sickness, they're going to be forced to look for work, they're going to lose their home. So this generally has a big impact on their mental and physical health. So the second group of people that I deal with are people who have claims pending. So this is ultimately the 6-week wait. Now, during this time, they need to be supported with food banks, need to be informed of their rights in regards to what money they can be entitled to, which is an advance payment. But also, it's a lot of support regarding the current bills that they're unable to pay. So things like the rent, the council tax, and the other household bills. Now, during this time, they will get a lot of letters. So it's just trying to control that and make sure that we can do that. One lady came into my drop-in and she had claimed universal credit, but she had a bunch of letters and she was just unable to pay. So all we did is rang round each of her bills and let them know the situation. It was really understanding, and we got in contact with them again once a claim was actually live and she could actually make the payments again. So it is easily resolved, but it does look like a little bit of a mess at the time before we actually look into it. The big issue that I'm dealing with at the moment, and generically universal credit, are people that have previously been on disability benefits or have been on long-term sick. Now, with ESA, which they previously may have been on, they would have got something called a severe disability premium. Now, the issue with universal credit is that doesn't exist. So a lot of claimants are now £63 per week worse off. We are also finding that people who have previously been on ESA are actually being forced onto universal credit. Now, what I mean by that is they go for regular assessments while they are on the claim to make sure that they are unfit for work. So when they are going for the most recent one, when they are in a full service area of universal credit, we are finding a lot of people are being seen as fit for work, which now means that they are kind of backed into a corner to actually claim universal credit, because even if they appeal the actual ESA, they would not have any money, because historically they would have to claim job seekers allowance, but obviously that doesn't exist anymore. It's now universal credit. So another big issue of universal credit is budgeting. Now, we've had examples previously on legacy benefits where many of our clients would say quotes such as, they have a good week, a good week, and a good week. Now, what this means is during a monthly period, they would actually receive a number of benefits. So 1 week, which they refer to as a good week, would be maybe a payment of child benefit or child tax credit. A good week would be a payment of maybe child benefit, child tax credit, and their income support. So obviously there's an increase in their income that particular week. And a good week would be when they receive the income support, child benefit, child tax credit, and maybe an additional payment of DLA or PIP, depending on what their circumstances are. However, with universal credit, bringing all those payments into one is, even though it's quite a large sum, they are still finding that they're unable to budget. Maybe that first week, all the money's gone after that, so it's quite difficult. Now, there is added pressures of universal credit as well, particularly with people who have children. So it's previously they never had to claim things like free school meals. They was automatically entitled to those through their income support or the job seekers or their ESA. Now they have to claim that through a website, which obviously brings other issues if they've not got internet access, but also the added issues of prescriptions. Even on a prescription form now, there isn't an option to tick universal credit. So that is a big issue, because there is a lot of people that are actually getting fines which are in the excess of £180. So we've had to sort that out as a team. And finally, the council tax reduction scheme, which is run by the councils. Previously that used to be placed into a housing benefit claim. Now it isn't. You have to claim that separately. Again, it has to be done online. So again, if they can't access the internet, that's a massive problem. And they only backdate that a month, so if they only realise that further down the line, they've got council tax arrears, so along with other debts that can incur during that time, they've now got priority debts, which are actually no fault of their own. So from my experience, there are good and bad aspects of universal credit. One situation in particular that sticks in my mind is a lady who has always worked full time, but she had a 3-month-old baby. She had claimed universal credit because of a change in circumstances with the baby, because she never claimed child tax credits before. And she was really upset. She was clutching at letters, saying that she's never been in this situation before. And when I had a chat with her, she had rent arrears, she had council tax arrears, and other debts that she's had to take out just to be able to live. When I've delved a little bit more into it, we found out that there wasn't any rent arrears, because there was just missing payments that just needed to be tracked, and that was fine. We sorted that out. The council tax, we made a phone call and we just got her back on track with that as well. But one big thing that does stick in my mind is that she was really concerned about childcare for her daughter, and to a point where she thought that she wouldn't be able to go to nursery and she wouldn't be able to go back to work. And she actually got 85% of a childcare cost as part of a universal credit claim towards those costs for her daughter to go to nursery, which she didn't actually know. So she was really pleased about that. However, the other side of it is the debts. So why she's now on a lower income with maternity, she's now had to she's fell behind on things like, as I said, the council tax and other bills, but we've managed to deal with them from the One Money team. So a really positive side of universal credit, which I've seen quite a few times now, is with single people. Now previously on the old benefit system, they kind of fell between the gaps of claiming, so their income might have been a little bit too high for one benefit, but they wasn't meeting the criteria for another one. So a really good outcome for single people is if they are on maybe a 20-hour contract, 25 hours, they're trying to increase their hours but it's just difficult, they do get some kind of support towards the housing cost. And one guy, we actually found him another £200 because just by claiming universal credit. So yeah, it does have its good and bad sides, but I thought that was a really good outcome on that occasion. The main aim across One Manchester is supporting tenants across the whole of the universal credit journey. So that could be from claiming, which if a client doesn't have the internet access, actually making the claim for them, right up to supporting them with the budgeting once the claim is in place. Universal credit, the idea is the government implemented this idea to a client has to be self-sufficient. And I think we've had to kind of adopt that, especially on the One Money team, because a client has to manage their own claim, they have to log on their own account. So even though we can give them the tools to actually make the claim, they have to manage their own claim. And I think that's one of the issues with paying rent. On the older benefit systems, a client didn't really have to pay their own rent. If they was in receipt of housing benefit, it would just come straight to us. So we're kind of trying to build resilience for the client to be able to manage their own claim, and trying to give them the tools to be able to do that, but kind of, as I said, be a bit more self-sufficient, and kind of not handhold, but just be supportive across the business.